My name is Bruno. This is Aditya, Tony, and Chris, and we're the team behind Sage. Sage is an open source financial management tool that syncs all your bank and credit card information into just one place. Now, although there are applications that do things similar to Sage, the same application pass you with tons of emails. They run the risk of exposing your bank information, and last but not least, they target you with ads using your bank info. Now, having that said, I'll pass it to Aditya so he can start explaining how Sage works.
Thanks, Bruno. So, in order to do real-time financial management from anywhere, anytime, you need to be able to sync with your various bank accounts and credit cards remotely. And so some of you may have used a product like Mint to do this. So what does Mint do? You give Mint all of your banking credentials. They then send it up to their servers. This one happens to be in Norway, hence the Viking hat. And then they communicate with your banks on your behalf. So in order to pay for all of this, they use your private financial information to send you targeted ads, and you're never really sure what's going to happen with your data. Sage is different. Sage, you run your own Sage server on a Raspberry Pi. Sage then communicates to your bank. You are using Sage to communicate to your own bank. So there are no middlemen, and so you can be sure that there's no one intercepting the data going to your bank. And because it's open source, lives on your network, on your own device, there are no ads, and you know exactly what's going to happen with your data. So how do you get Sage? You log onto our website, download a Raspberry Pi image, install it on your Pi. Then we expose it using a secure VPN, so you're able to access it from anywhere in the world, even though it's connected to your private network, and you're ready to go. Security was really important to us, so we took it really seriously. So you have your Sage password and your banking credentials that get beamed over to Sage using a secure HTTPS connection. Then we encrypt your banking credentials using your actual Sage password, and only then do we store it in the database. Then we salt and hash your Sage password, and that goes in the database as well. And when it comes time for you to communicate with your bank, all of this gets decrypted using your actual Sage password. What does this mean? If you get broken into and someone steals your Pi, you can be sure that no one's going to have access to your secure information. To summarize, there is no need for you to keep logging into your banks. You log into Sage, all of your banks get logged onto automatically. This makes it really convenient. One of the annoying things about communicating with your bank directly is that we get raw transactional data. I'm sure you've looked at your transactions and you just get a bunch of random stuff. And so one thing that's particularly bad about this is that sometimes you buy things from a merchant and they can show up under different names. This sucks. We used a really simple machine learning algorithm to solve this problem, and Tony's going to talk a bit more about that.
Thank you, Aditya. Categorization is definitely one of the core features of our app. For demonstrations, let's look for a group of uncategorized transactions with a similar transaction name, with a similar merchant's name, and see how we can categorize them. Right there, as you can see, the transactions from juice generations come in slightly different in name because of raw bank data. By categorizing one of them as food and dining, behind the scenes, the app used case nearest neighbor algorithm to search all transaction merchants' name that match the similar pattern of the selected one. Once it finds them all, it will categorize them all as food and dining as well. See, very convenient. More importantly, all those categorized transactions exist in the database will serve a valid data training point for the algorithm to categorize future transactions. What it means, if you have a new transaction from merchant's name like Juicy Generation, it will categorize it as a food and dining at the first place without you manually categorize it. Simply said, the more data the app has, the better it can categorize your transactions. Next, Chris is going to talk about the budget feature.
Thank you. So now that we have our transactions categorized, we can use budgets to kind of track our spending and see how we're doing. In this instance, it looks like I'm pretty close to hitting my gaming budget for the month, but I still want to pick up titles like Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. So I'm going to bump it up to 1,000 and get rid of that angry red bar with probably a more pleasant yellow bar. Very nice. We can also look at the trends page, where we have access to filtering tools to get a set of transactions, and from there we can group them on different things such as day, month, year, merchant, and category, and we can view it as either a bar graph or a pie chart. From either of these, we can click into a slice or a bar and find the transactions that make up that piece and make any necessary edits. Thank you very much. We are Sage, and check us out on GitHub. Thank you.